On today's episode of the DOD45, it's all about lists, and more lists. We sit down with our friend and artist Jared Knight to discuss his upcoming show at our gallery this weekend in Hannibal, Missouri. We also share our top 10 lists of movies you should be watching this Halloween, and we hear from a handful of past DOD45 guests who've called in to share their personal favorite scary movies. You're going to want to hear these lists.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
DOD45.
This is the DOD45 podcast, drawing over discussions 45 minutes with a special guest. Welcome. I'm your host and resident artist, Tai of Art by Tai, and with my co-host Adrienne Taeoalii, we're having conversations with people who I admire and am inspired by. On this episode, I'll set a 45-minute timer, put my pen to the paper, and we'll learn about our guest through an interview-style discussion. So stay right here with us to experience some laughs and maybe even learn a thing or two.
DOD45.
Recording in progress. Prog rock. Do you like prog rock?
I don't know what it is.
It's like progressive rock. Oh, it doesn't matter. Well, it's another episode of DOD45. It is we're squeezing in a Halloween episode, one last Halloween episode. We're going all out Halloween. Are you excited about that?
Yeah.
Oh, going out on a limb, changing it up. Well, that's good because we're going to do some top 10 horror movie lists. And a bunch of people had called in and left us some lists, a bunch of past DOD45 guests. So I'm looking forward to hearing what their lists are. I haven't listened to any of them. So we'll play those throughout the show while we're having a discussion with our guest today. Today on the show, we're having our friend Jared Knight, who is also a very, very, very talented artist. And we are have an exhibit of his artwork in our gallery this weekend for the Creatures of the Night show, KNIGHT, Night. That's Jared Knight's last name. So we figured we'd have him in to have a discussion with him about his artwork. Jared's also pretty knowledgeable about horror movies. He's knowledgeable about movies in general. So yeah, it's pretty cool to have like another friend, and it's been a while since we had like a personal friend in on the show. We had Quentin Hughes was our very first episode, our pilot episode, and then we had our good friend Johnny Ritchie in a little while ago. But it's been a while since we had like someone we knew on a very, very, very personal level. So that's cool, right?
Yeah. It'll be interesting. Sometimes it makes me go like, what is there to say?
Well, yeah.
Just because I don't know, the conversation. I don't know.
I know I get what you're saying there. I thought of that too, and then I just thought, you know what? It's basically like we're just at the bar, having drinks or hanging out together. We're just having a regular conversation, except I'm sprinkling in some questions. Like we're hanging out at what was that place we met Jared at last time?
The Campfire Lounge.
The Campfire Lounge, yeah. So just like we're hanging out at the Campfire Lounge. We have a show this weekend. We're heading out to...
as you hear this, it will have been last weekend.
We'll have passed, I guess. Yeah, but we're heading out to Memphis. And it's been a little while since we've been out to Memphis. It was a very, really cool show they had in this really cool neighborhood, but now it's kind of down on the riverfront, so I'm interested to see how that goes. But I like Memphis a lot. How about you?
I like Memphis. So what I've seen, we only usually stay in that older district, so I don't know about the riverfront. I did see a picture. I sent it to you, but apparently you didn't get it, of the Mississippi. Looked dry as a bone down there, which I can't imagine since ours still has water. Our Mississippi.
Was it a doctored photograph? It's crazy.
I think it was probably taken towards an island so that you couldn't really see the rest of the river. So if we went to the Illinois side and looked to our Missouri side, we could see maybe a more shallow portion that could be dried up. I don't know.
Well, Yeah, that doesn't seem. And now they're talking about, because the Colorado River is drying up, or the water rights, like it's not even getting all the way down to Mexico. They're petitioning to try to get to start taking water from the Mississippi. Like, come on.
Oh, that's not going to happen.
No, but they're petitioning
but at this
for
point, before I had always thought like, oh, cool, we'll never run out of water next to the Mississippi. But ooh,
We just went down for a walk
low.
down there a couple of days ago, or 2 nights ago, or last night. And it seems really low.
It is low, but it's not as low as some areas. I think as the further south it goes, the wider it gets. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it would be more dispersed over land, and the shrinkage would be greater, I think.
It's always nice to use the word shrinkage. I did see that picture. I thought it was in St. Louis, the picture you sent me.
Well, I did send you one of St. Louis too, where they were walking to this rock that juts out of the river, and right now you can walk to that mound. That rock formation from the shore of somewhere.
Well, we're gonna be right on the river for a show in Memphis. Memphis is a cool town. People should go check out that museum, the Martin Luther King Museum.
The Civil Rights.
The Civil Rights Museum it's right at the Lorraine Hotel where Martin Luther King was shot. They just built the museum right on the backside of the hotel. It's really remarkable when you're there and you recognize the place from you've seen in so many photographs and videos. It's so recognizable. And the cars that were parked out there when it happened, when the shooting happened, when he was assassinated, it's all just right how it was in the 60s.
They did a great job of it. It's an unfortunate event that took place right there, but they did a good job of memorializing our history.
Yeah, I think so. I think one time we were there and people were protesting because they also built a museum across the street from the assassination.
I don't remember protests.
I just like there was like 2 people protesting or something out there. I can't remember. I remember someone was at a sign.
Anything.
They could have been. I don't know. It was a long time ago. Anyway, our guest today, Jared Knight, we are having him as a featured guest artist in our gallery, in the Old Blue Gallery. This weekend, October 28th, is the opening night of the Creatures of the Night, KNIGHT show. And it features the artwork of Jared, who our guest is today. I've said that probably a trillion times.
Yeah, I think we got it. My hair, it's so dry. My hair is stark straight, and it keeps poking me in the nose. He is a mixed media artist who uses like India inks and what?
Watercolors. And we'll let him. We'll let him.
Okay.
It's really cool work. I really like it. Jared has a style, and I think one of the biggest thing as an artist is to have a style. If you have a style, you've accomplished a significant part of being an artist. So I've always really liked his work, and we used to have him. We first met him at a Submerged in Art show. The show was called Submerged in Art, and it was a charity event that that Adrienne and I used to put on, and a lot of my family members, we used to put it on in Salt Lake City, Utah. It was a really cool show, and we just had a whole bunch of guest artists from Utah, and it was the charity event. It was always a charity event for the Road Home Homeless Shelter, and we always raised a lot of good money for it. It was a really cool show. It was just a lot of work, and so we don't do that show anymore. But that was the first place we met Jared Knight, and we had him as an artist there, and we've been friends ever since, and I've been a fan of his work ever since. So he'll be our first guest artist in our gallery, the Old Blue Gallery, this weekend. So if you're in the Hannibal area or in the tri-state area, you should try to come through it will be a nice, fun party. And then we have a bunch of people that called in to give us their top 10 horror list.
Oh, a list. I thought you said anist.
Oh, anist. It's probably this Utah accent. Mountain. But yeah, we got a bunch of people who called in to share their favorite horror movies, since it is a kind of our Halloween episode. It's going to air right before Halloween. And I love Halloween. And Adrienne does too. Even though she said in the last episode, she's like, it's only...
I think it's fine. I don't get excited for it.
It's surprising because when we were first together, you always dressed up in costume and I never did.
Yeah, one night I didn't I didn't do all this other stuff.
Oh.
I didn't go to like the pumpkin patch and the maze. Like you would maybe go to a haunted house, but there wasn't all this hubbub up to it. Like you had to do all these activities and it's all this.
You don't have to do that. It's so much fun.
You have to drink a pumpkin latte and a pumpkin beer.
Oh, I didn't get a pumpkin beer. I don't like pumpkin beer. It's disgusting. Well,
It's fine, though.
all right.
Whatever.
I made a new piece for this show. I'm excited about this. Also, in that show for the Jared Knight, the Creatures of the Night show, we invited a bunch of other artists to submit a piece or to put a piece in the show.
Yeah,
And
we
so we got some really cool
We got
artwork.
a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited for the show. We waiting on Jared still? Oh, he
We're
here?
waiting on you.
Oh, well, hey, listen, let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Jared Knight.
DOD45.
Here's a little story that must be told. Hey, we are stoked to be starting a relationship with Brim of the World and look forward to building on our partnership with them in the future. Listen, I almost never go without a hat, so hooking up with Brim of the World was a no-brainer. As far as your situation goes, you know your head is looking pretty chump these days, and it's time to throw some headgear on there. And I'm not talking braces headgear, I'm talking about hats. And Bot World, aka Brim of the World, has a treasure trove of headwear to pick from, so check them out at brimoftheworld.com. And also check out their SCD collection. SCD is Seek, Conquer, Destroy, and it's their action sports brand. Seek wisdom to conquer all obstacles and destroy anything that tries to stand in your way for success. Also check out their Aliens Built Earth clothing line. Super dope clothing line. I rock their hoodies and shirts all the damn time. Aliens Built Earth was born with the notion and belief that aliens built Earth. You'll find some type of clothing or headwear from these cats on me at almost all times, and that was before DOD45 partnered with them. I don't see that changing anytime soon. Head over to brimoftheworld.com and start building your wardrobe now. And I just noticed they're offering free shipping in the US, so I mean, really, can you beat that? No, you cannot.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the world. My name is Tony, and I have a podcast, too. I know what you're saying. I already know. Okay, but I have a podcast, too. Just like you, just like your grandma, just like your grandma's neighbor. We all have podcasts, except mine is different. I'm different. I was born different. The Speaker Face podcast is fun. It will teach you probably nothing. You cannot smell it, and you definitely can taste it. Speaker Face Podcast by me, AWOL1, and I talk to my friends. I talk to musicians, artists, all kinds of creative people, all kinds of human beings. I do like little songs and little freestyles and skits. And so after you're done listening to DOD45 with my man Tai, which is a very, 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 very interesting podcast that you should religiously watch and listen to, after you're done, check out speakerface.store for the Speakerface podcast. And you could also listen to it wherever other podcasts are podcasting. You know what I'm saying? So check it out, Speakerface Podcast. Your life will be better. I don't promise. Speakerface Podcast.
Hey, it's me, Ty, just popping on real quick to let you know that my art is available for purchase at artbyty.com. So if you like what you're seeing or you want to support this podcast, the best way for you to do that is by picking up a print or an original on my website. If you're not quite ready for a purchase, but you still want to help out, go ahead and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else you stream from. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you'll never miss an episode. All right, enough of all that. Now let's get back to the show.
DOD45.
Let's see what Jared came equipped with. Currently connecting to Jared Knight on this episode of DOD45.
Because I can't see that at all.
We wait for Jared Knight, who must be logging in. Are you logging in through your your fax machine, your phone line?
No, I'm on a computer, as you asked, as you requested.
How are you, Jared?
I'm doing so good. How are you? It's good to see you guys.
It is very awesome to see you. I like that you match our background.
Well, it's obviously intentional.
Are we looking at a Jared Knight original behind your head there?
You are. Thought I would add that in for some context, I suppose.
What about this the conjoined mutant twin skeleton behind you there too?
Oh, those are my sons.
You're a perfect guest to have on for our Halloween episode, Jared.
I'm so happy you asked me. Halloween obviously is like my favorite. I'm not a holiday person at all. I have like no traditions. I would not consider myself a traditional person, but Halloween is everything. The whole month.
Can you spread some of that to Adrienne, because in even in the intro here and the last episode, she is very much against celebrating Halloween more than just the one day.
Why?
She didn't want to hear it.
Ask your sons.
Ask your sons.
Or let them ask you all about the Halloween stuff all month long.
Hey, if Christmas can do it all month, so can Halloween.
I agree.
And I'm pretty sure that's how the next generation of people will feel about it.
Well, and also, I really love that, like, in Utah, Halloween is, like, dead serious. I don't know anyone from Utah that's not super into Halloween.
Oh, you're talking to one of them.
Oh, me?
Well, right. Like, I didn't know. I thought you'd be into this. But you're not into haunted houses, scary movies?
No, not scary movies, but I'm into haunted houses all the year.
The last haunted house we did go to is in this haunted house here in Hannibal, Missouri. It's right behind our house, and it's in this old church. Adrienne had her eyes closed, and the
church.
It was a haunted house that they put on, not like an actual haunted house.
You meant like the ones you pay,
Yeah.
and have people scare you.
Yes, isn't that the kind of haunted houses Jared's talking about?
The ones that, like, cost $30 to have a bunch of theater kids chase you around in a warehouse where there's, like, not HIPAA violations, but health code violations all over the place. Yeah.
I loved them as a teenager. We used to go to the Alien one in West Valley, Utah.
Alien Encounters.
Never went to that one.
That was really fun. My dad would drop me and my brothers off there, and it was just really fun. And they would touch you, and now it's kind of, they would get in your face and kind of like rattle you a little. But now it's very like, ooh.
Well,
I'm not gonna touch you.
Yeah, because someone's gonna sue them, or there's gonna be some sort of like hashtag moment or something.
Here's something that is always like really shocking to me. So when it comes to haunted houses, there's always the ubiquitous like chainsaw guy at the end, right? Why is that so scary?
Because it's loud.
Chainsaws are scary. I'm guessing you've never worked a chainsaw. I haven't either. But I'm always scared whenever he does.
I work the chainsaw a lot and I love it, but it's not that scary but you definitely could cut yourself pretty bad. But I think, Jared, it's because it's so damn loud.
You don't think it's the massacre?
Well, obviously that. It's always Leatherface with his chainsaw, but I think it's so aggressively loud that adds the tension.
I'm more of a Sawzall kind of guy.
When did you ever use a Sawzall?
Yesterday,
Oh, did you? Oh, good. Oh, you're doing all the work at your house?
I'm trying.
Oh, good. You're grown up.
I had to trim a plant. I'm not saying it with a Sawzall, yeah.
No.
And I have this really beautiful Sawzall that's like neon lime green, and maybe I'll take that to the spook alley and see if I can do something there.
You know they have clippers, like that you can trim.
Trimmers.
Yeah.
Yes,
Edgers.
yes, I am aware of that, but I live in 2022 and I have a Sawzall. The clippers are a little analog for me, I think.
But they give you a nicer cut, and they make it less like disease inviting.
True. There is I guess a lot greater risk or less of a risk of a staph infection if you're using clippers. But I
think Adrienne was talking for the plant.
Yeah.
Oh,
Unless you want it to die, then that's good.
that's kind of what we're trying to do. It's gotten out of control.
We're really happy to have you on the show, and we're also very happy to have you as our guest artist at the gallery this weekend. It's going to be a really fun show.
We're going to have so much fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast. So Jared is going to be flying out here to Hannibal, Missouri for the show with some friends too. It's going to be a good time. We're going to have a good time.
Yes, for sure.
Well, okay, so we're going to get this timer going. I'm going to draw something for you. I guess I'll just let it be a surprise. I won't say. It is weird drawing for artists, but
You draw for artists all the time.
usually musicians, though.
Yeah, it's still the same.
I guess it is. I'll just pretend like you're a rapper.
Oh, well.
If you were a rapper, though, what would do you have a rapper name?
No, I don't think I've ever been crested with a rapper name. Hey, maybe that's something we can do while I'm in Hannibal.
Come up with a rapper name?
Right.
I'll even get you a gig.
Oh my God, that'll go over real well.
Hey, I've been invited to work. I'll tell you what. So I'll try anything.
Timer set 45. We're gonna get going.
Not to heart, but I want to revisit one more thing. The haunted house. When it comes to haunted houses, the best haunted houses are old school, like lagoon haunted houses. Lagoon, for those not in Utah, lagoon is a
Creature of the Black
park.
Lagoon?
Like an amusement, right?
Amusement, yeah, like animatronics, like dusty old animatronics. You're riding in a little car.
Yeah,
and
those are fun.
Those are fun just because, they just get so like seasoned with age. Like that one at Lagoon, like it's like falling apart, and like it almost makes it better in my eyes. I don't know.
And there's a certain scent as
Yes.
well that is.
It's chlorine and fog machines, which are like two of my favorite smells. So
Jared Leto or lead pencil?
Gonna have to say the pencil.
Are you not a Jared Leto fan?
No, I am. I just feel like the lead pencil would probably be more useful to me.
Jared Leto.
Yeah,
I'm
Jared-
Googling him.
Didn't he play Morbius? I didn't watch the movie. What else is he in he's real popular for?
He's
Fight Club, Dallas Buyers Club.
Wait, who is he in Fight
Fight
Club?
Club. He is. It does say
He is. He's one of the Fight Club people.
Oh, is he the blonde in
The
that?
blonde guy, yeah.
Oh, he looks so weird in that.
He's in
He's-
Suicide Squad, House of Gucci.
Yeah, I know.
American
He's
Psycho.
big.
I feel like I've never seen him before in my life. Looking at these pictures.
I love it. I love Jared Leto, but if I have to choose between the two, I mean, like the lead pencil is probably more a tool I can use. Not calling Jared Leto a tool on your podcast. Ooh.
Well, how about this one? Which do you loathe more, Jared Fogle or Jared Kushner?
Ooh. Who's Jared Fogle again?
He's Subway. Subway.
I was gonna say. Oh man.
Who was the other one you said?
Jared Kushner. That's
He's Trump's kid or something.
Yeah, he's married to whatever her name is.
Oh.
Yeah, those are bad.
I know.
I'm gonna have to go with probably Kushner, just purely on the fact that, you know, the whole kids thing. But
did he also rape kids? Did the other one rape kids?
I think
no, he just put them in cages. But
that's right. That's right. He put him in cages. Subway allegedly.
No, he's in prison.
Not allegedly. Like he's,
I don't know.
yeah. Yeah. And like, and so far, we've covered all the Jareds that I get when people, unless one of you has to sing "It Can Only Be Jared," and then we will have covered all of the Jareds. And there is a hockey player named Jared Knight.
Oh,
that's where we're the same, because there's a footballer?
Adrian
Tai?
Peterson. Yeah.
Yeah, that carries my old maiden name.
Yep.
Really?
My OG name.
Yeah, he played for the Minnesota Vikings.
Your rapper name.
Well, so we did cover the Jareds, but what about Gladys Knight or Night of the Living Dead?
Another hard one. Oh, and how amazing would it be if those two things were together?
It would be pretty awesome. Gladys Knight of the Living Dead.
I'm going to probably say Gladys Knight.
Ooh, look at you.
Because Night of the Living Dead, like, it's a cult favorite, but it's not my favorite zombie movie. Okay. I know that there's a lot of like historical like elements around it, and Gladys Knight is iconic. So like,
what is your favorite zombie movie?
His favorite zombie movie would probably have to be 28 Days Later.
Oh, yeah, that's on my list, but we'll get to the lists in a little bit.
Oh man, that was.
Yeah, we put together lists, and Jared and I were texting, and I was saying I'm pretty sure Adrienne has a list too, or she was struggling with one. But I think our struggles were different. I think Jared and I struggled because it was hard to eliminate ones, and I'm imagining yours was a struggle because it was hard for you to find ones that you liked, Adrienne.
It was hard for me to remember any movie I've ever watched.
You did a list too, Adrienne?
Of course.
Oh, yeah. I cannot wait.
People love lists. I know I love lists, and a horror movie list, like you can't go wrong with that, right?
You never told me horror movie.
Well, or monster movie or Halloween or whatever.
Like spooky movie.
You said scary movie.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. That's the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is Patch Adams on your list, Adrienne?
I don't.
She doesn't even know what that is.
I don't know what it is.
But I was thinking about, when I was doing it, I was like thinking about lists, and I was like there's so many horror movie lists, like the 10 best like horror movie deaths, the 10 worst horror movies. I could do that list in nothing. Like there's so many different lists you could do when it comes around like horror movies, sci-fi movies, all that kind of stuff.
Well, we'll get back to that, because that's what we're going to focus on after we bang out a few things, because horror movies are awesome, and this is technically our Halloween episode. What about Fright Night or Prom Night?
Fright Night.
Do you? Yeah, that's a really good one. But have you seen Prom Night?
I have.
Yeah, it's not great, but it is.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah, she's great.
She is great, and like I think isn't Prom Night like one of her first movies? It's
not the first, but it is one of the early ones. Yeah.
1980.
Yeah.
But Fright Night is like that. I remember being young and like going to like the video store that was by our house, which was just this like junky little like video store. And I still remember the box of like the face over the house and being like, Mom, can I? And she's like, absolutely not.
Oh, but
Until
it's
I
still
was old
good.
enough to make the choice myself. But
Wait, how old did you say you were?
I was young.
Yeah.
I probably was like 10.
Was your mom okay with you watching horror movies and stuff when you were younger?
Like once she found that was like pretty much what I was like into, she was. And I was really obsessed with the Universal horror movies, like the black and white old horror movies, like the Bela Lugosi's Dracula, Boris Karloff's Frankenstein, Lon Chaney, all of that. I was super into that. And when she saw just kind of how obsessed I was with it, she just kind of let the reins
Gave in.
go.
Oh, I'm excited to hear your list now. I didn't realize you were into the old classics, but that doesn't mean your list has to have those on there, but I am interested to hear it. What about Nick at Night or Night at the Museum?
Nick at Night.
Yeah.
Does that still exist?
It doesn't anymore, but it was like
No.
Nickelodeon at night. It was like
All the old shows.
yeah, they started showing a little more not
Lassie,
yeah.
Car 54.
Yeah.
All of those.
Yeah.
That was the only show. That was the only TV station on in our house.
Nick at Night or Nickelodeon, I mean?
No, I mean after 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember Nick at Night, like, yeah, because you would sit there and be watching it, and then all of a sudden it would be like KURP Cincinnati or whatever, and you'd be like, "What is this?"
You were old. You were younger then, because they didn't
I
get
was.
those ones on until I was a lot older.
Oh, really? Well,
Yeah, because they were all the black and whites, like the Honeymooners,
yeah,
the whistling guy.
the whistling guy.
The whistling guy.
That's the one.
Andy Griffith.
Yes. Jared knows them though. Were they? What was the show where they poured the green? If you said I don't know, they would pour the green
You
goop.
can't do this on television.
Oh yeah. Was that too old for you, Jared? You can't do that on
Nope.
television?
I was super into that.
I loved that show.
I did too. And like, how bad did you want to get slimed?
I know. I didn't have cable, so I could only watch that at my friend's house. Yeah, shit.
What about Kids Incorporated?
Oh, I think I was too old for that.
I think I watched that.
K-I. They just spell it out.
Yeah. But I don't have any idea what it is.
And didn't they do like the letters with their bodies?
Probably.
Or was that a fever
That must have
dream?
been the
I
whole
don't know.
show because that's
That was a fever dream. Why do you make art?
A compulsion.
No, we should get that though. We should get that on record because I was trying to explain your work but it's just better for you to explain to people why do you make art? I know it's kind of a broad stroke question, but
well, and I think Adrienne actually answered it for me. I think it's a compulsion. If you talk to anybody who's known me, my whole life, like anybody in my family, they will tell you that's anytime I got a piece of paper or anything, like that's immediately what I would start doing. All of my assignments from when I was in school are just like covered in doodles, and I would find like, a screenshot of like a movie, and I would sit and draw over and over and over and over and try to, replicate it. I never really thought anything about it. It was never even something I really was like dedicated to. It was just something I did. And then as I got older and got into high school and started meeting different teachers and people who saw what I was doing and I got to kind of express my ideas, I got a lot of encouragement, and that's what kind of made me go, okay, well, maybe I'll try this. And then I just got real excited to learn, like, I could have ideas and I could implement them without needing anybody's help. I could do it and make, I could just basically print right from my mind. And that just kind of became what I did. I tell people all the time, like, even if like I never showed my art to anybody, which, you know, for a lot of years I didn't, I would still do it. I would just be sitting in my house, like alone, doing it. And that's just something, it's almost religious to me. It's a very big part of who I am. It's a very big part of my identity. And that is when I am the most content. And
You're creating?
when I'm creating. And
What about when you're thinking, when you're contemplating? Are you always contemplating? Is your brain always thinking in creative mode? Is everything you see feel like that's a picture, or that's something, or your observations always on that level?
not everything, but I definitely but I don't sit around and like think of an idea of what to do. It's like it will happen.
When you're working on something, do you work from outwardly, or is it subconscious based, or how do you get to a piece?
Mostly I'll just be playing around, like just doing like study work or whatnot, and I'll just be playing around and I'll catch something that, you know, will come back later or fit into a certain motif, or even like different styles, different materials, different colors. And, you know, that's kind of fun because then you start kind of putting things in categories of like what fits with what, and what produces a kind of feeling when you look at it, when you combine certain things or certain imageries or different colors together. And so it really, that's where the subconscious part comes out. But usually when it comes to like an actual piece or a painting, it's something that happened, something I read, something I saw, something I felt. And I like, to get it out of me, I have to like regurgitate it out into something.
So when you're gonna do a piece, when you're gonna do like something specific that you want to, you know, come get this out of you, you'll approach it with something that you want to say in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. It's very different from my process, so it's interesting to hear.
Which shocks me because it's like so much of your work just seems so like deliberate, like you selected these things, you wanted to put them together. To think that you sit down and you just kind of sketch that out just all in one lump.
Well, I think it's just figuring itself out up in here, and then as it's coming onto the paper, I'm still trying to figure it out. I often will pretend like I know what the fuck I'm talking about, but my artwork and myself, I'm really just fumbling around trying to think like, oh, this feels good to me, I'll go with this. That's how my opinions are based. That's how I've existed my whole life. So anyway,
I found a good example is like I was reading and I learned about these beetles, right? And there's I think they're like these dung beetles in Africa, and the female beetle will go to the very top of like the highest thing that she can crawl on, like a stick or like a tree branch or something. And then when she gets up there, she makes a sound, and all of the male beetles crawl up the tree and basically play king of the mountain to try to get to the top. And whoever gets to the top gets to mate with the female beetle. And I was reading this and I'm like, this is exactly what dating is like in 2022. And it's like putting yourself on a pedestal and then bringing your standards up and making people fight, and whoever can get to that standard ends up winning the prize. And so it's stuff like that I'm just like, this can be interpreted in a different way with different imagery, but communicate kind of a same message. And so that's usually how I come up with ideas or things that I want to do.
Well, I like to hear other people's processes. We never really get to do that. Well, hey, cereal or oatmeal?
Well, what cereal, or just in general?
In general.
I'm gonna go with oatmeal.
Oh wow, really? Are you not into cereal all that much?
No, I'm really not. But like, you know, I won't hate on a little Count Chocula or Boo Berry.
Oh, if you do go cereal, it's got to be one of the sugar ones.
Halloween.
Or Halloween.
Of course, right. Yeah, like I don't really drink milk, So that kind of messes cereal up for you. But with Count Chocula, it was always like chocolate milk, right?
Yeah, that's basically what you get.
Right. So, and I can do chocolate milk, but like regular milk, that's just a little too satanic for me.
What about Elvira or Vampira?
Ooh, I'm gonna say Elvira.
Yeah, she was better. Do you know who Vampira was, though?
I do,
Yeah.
and there was a GoFundMe for her gravestone in the Hollywood Cemetery.
You're kidding.
No, one of my friends was helping with this GoFundMe because apparently, she pretty much died penniless.
Nothing, yeah.
Yeah.
And so they wanted to get her like a real official like headstone for the icon that she is. But I have to pick Elvira, especially just because of her recently coming out. That was, I think, a shock to everyone.
I didn't even know.
Yep.
Oh, maybe I did see a headline. That is like really, really recent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good for her.
Barely. I know. I was like, who knew?
It's kind of surprising. I guess it didn't, but it's not shock. I mean, it's not shocking at all. Or is it?
It kind of is.
Oh, is it?
Well, I kind of feel like Elvira was kind of created as like
This
like a male like thing, a sex symbol. But then you like listen to her talk about it, and she's like, it's camp, And I think Elvira does like encapsulate what camp is, It's fun and sexy and silly, and I am a huge Elvira fan.
Yeah, she's pretty awesome. I had a poster of her in my room too, but it was a poster. But it came out of a Fangora magazine. It was like a fold out poster, and I hung all that stuff up. I think it was her and Jason Voorhees in it.
Oh, nice.
What's the best scary game to play as a kid?
Scary game to play as a kid?
Yeah, like Bloody Mary, or one of like that thing. What were those games? I don't remember a whole lot of them.
Bloody Mary for sure.
What were the rules of Bloody Mary?
I don't think there were any. I think you just had to throw water on the mirror and turn off the light and say Bloody Mary 3 times.
Yeah, see, everyone's version of it is different. I don't know. I never heard anything about throwing water on the mirror.
Yeah, I never did that.
Well, what else would happen? What, you just go in there and say Bloody Mary 3 times?
Yeah, and then like she would like appear in the mirror. I don't know. Now that you mention it, like I don't really remember there was like any really like expectation after that, which is kind of dark. But like you just expect, like you're like, well, when she shows up, we'll see what happens.
I gotta be honest. I don't think I ever dared to do it. Adrienne, go in the bathroom right now and do it.
No, I was terrified. I think what we did is we said it 3 times and then turned around and faced the mirror, and then you kind of see, because it's dark, you kind of see your reflection, but your eyes haven't quite adjusted, so you look weird, and so then you see her, but it's really you see yourself.
Well, maybe you really were seeing her. Yeah, I don't know. What about light as a feather, stiff as a board? Did you ever do that one?
I did light as a feather, stiff as a board, and like that, like I never got anything out of that.
But Adrienne, you guys did it a lot or something, didn't you?
We did it in junior high at like sleepovers.
The only reason I know of it, was because of the movie The Craft.
I feel like it worked.
What? That's not possible.
I don't know. There was a lot of us girls.
Yeah,
it was creepy.
Yeah, I don't know. What were the rules? Were there rules to it? What was that?
No, you just say the same thing over and over. You use 2 fingers.
But when you say it worked, what worked? What happens?
I feel like we lifted her up. I don't know.
Like how high?
I don't remember.
How high? Yeah, how high exactly? How high were you guys?
I felt like it worked. I think you had to close your eyes though, so it might have been another mental.
Yeah, when you're
game.
Saying it, probably.
Maybe you get exhausted from the lack of oxygen and
in your brain.
Woo! I don't know.
Hey, if your house, God forbid, knock on wood, but like if it was burning down and you could only grab like 3 things, what 3 things would you grab?
This mid-century modern lamp that I got at a thrift store, which is like one of my favorite possessions. I just love that lamp. I don't know why. It's just I'm very attached to it. Probably my computer, as boring as that is.
Yeah, I mean everything's on there probably.
And
oh, you don't have any animals.
yeah, well,
What about that plant? What about that plant?
That plant's probably what's going to burn down my house after I like pruned it beyond repair. But I would probably take like I have some old jewelry of my grandma's that I would take. But I mean, more than anything, I would just be like looking for that insurance check.
So it sounds like there's not a whole lot of possessions you're way attached to.
No, which is weird because I'm a very materialistic person. I will be the first to admit it. I love stuff. I love buying things. I like, which I think as an artist is kind of comes with the territory.
Is it? Is that what it is? Because I fucking love buying shit.
Oh no, I am like one emotional trauma away from being a hoarder for sure. But like, I just feel like, if it's all on fire, it's like, well, hey, I got out.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna do the at least I'm alive.
What would you take?
Me?
With all your stuff.
I'll go down with it.
Smart.
I'd make sure you and the kids were safe and out, and the
Like
cat.
if we weren't even there, you had to grab 3.
Hard drives, because all my art, all my past artwork, everything. That's it. I really just got to be hard drives. Everything else, it would be horrible. I have so much shit that I'm attached to, but I'm not that. I mean, sometimes I'll save a wine bottle just because it looked cool.
That's exactly what I'm saying. But with all the work that you've done on your house, like if it was burning down, I can see why you're like, I'm going to go down with the ship. Like I absolutely.
Yeah. I even hate talking about houses burning, but it doesn't matter. We have a friend whose house burnt down twice.
What?
Yeah.
Time to move.
I know.
Time to move.
We got 15 more minutes on this. Let's do our lists. How does that sound?
All right. All right.
So here's the deal. We did top 10 favorite lists. Oh, before we do that though, Alien or Predator?
Alien.
Oh yeah, cool.
Because of Giger.
Yeah. Are you afraid of death?
No.
What are you afraid of?
Usually like ignorant people, acid wash jeans.
Hey, when you say afraid of ignorant people, are you is your fear of your personal interaction with them or just ignorant people in general?
I think just ignorant people in general. I mean, there's just a lot of people in the world that are ignorant and like narcissistic or, like, do you ever just like drive on the freeway and you're like, man, like someone could be doing something that is like a real bad, texting or like curling their hair or shaving, like you see all kinds of crazy stuff and you're like, that person could just like end me out like forever. And so, that's the kind of stuff I worry about. I mean, when it comes to death, there's like, I heard this like quote once and it really just like struck me, but they said that anything as universal as death has got to be a blessing. We celebrate birth and we think, when someone has a baby, we're like, it's such a beautiful like thing and congratulations. And it's such a wonderful like beginning to a story and a journey. But with death, I mean, it almost is like the only thing you can compare death to is birth. It's painful. It's messy. It's not pretty. And it's a cycle. And so I don't know.
You're not religious at all, right? No. Yeah. You just mean, yeah. Yeah. I agree with you. It is the one thing we all do. We're all born and we all die. There is beauty in death, I guess. What about you, Adrienne? Which was harder for you, giving birth or being
dying.
or having some or being or like someone close to you dying?
It was easier for me to be born than it was for me to give birth.
I'm sure. Maybe not though. You just don't have the memory of it. All right, let's get into these. Let's get into this list. How should we do this? Should we go like? I know they're not going to be top 10, but should we go like each one of us gives their one?
Yeah, everybody does 10, and then we do 9, then we do 8.
All right.
Okay?
But before we go into ours, let's hear what Slug from Atmosphere, he called in and gave us his top 10. Let's hear what his top 10 horror movies are.
Yo, what's up? This is Slug from Atmosphere, and I'm going to give you my top 10 Halloween movies to watch on Halloween. Fuck you up, okay? Number 10, The Exorcist. Number 9, The Terrifier. Number 8, The Shining. Number 7, 28 Days Later. Number 6, Battle Royale. Number 5, Gates of Hell. Number 4, American Werewolf in London. Number 3, Reanimator. Number 2, Phantasm. And number 1, Fried Green Tomatoes.
Yeah. Lawanda!
Man, I'm glad he put Reanimator on there because I had a hard time keeping Reanimator off of my list because I love that movie. All right, let's go. Let's start with let's cruise through these. Jared, let's start with your first.
So before, just because this might be controversial, but like, I just want to say, like, if you ask me what this top 10 list is tomorrow, it might be different. But like, these are the movies that I felt, they're not maybe the scariest, but they're the ones that I felt like had some of the biggest impacts on me.
Oh, okay.
So number 10, rolling in at number 10, The Craft.
Whoa.
The Craft came out when I was in high school, and I was a bullied little queer kid. And so, like, I wanted everybody's hair to fall out. I wanted to make snakes come out of people's clothes. That movie, I think, gave a lot of strength to a lot of marginalized kids.
Oh, you think so? Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
100%.
I love that movie. That was
I love it. Still to this day, such a good movie.
Cool. The Craft. I'm glad that made your list. It would have never made mine. Oh, shit. I just had one that came up that needs to be on my list. Shit. I was thinking Serpent in the Rainbow. I loved that movie. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but that one's being buried alive. Oh, it's really good. Okay, what about you, Adrienne? Let's go. What do you got?
the first one I thought of, because you asked me to do my top 10 scary movies. So these are ones that I felt like scared me. And this is probably all from the 80s because
That's the only time you were able to watch them.
I didn't watch them after that. Well, the first one that came to mind was Planet of the Apes.
Oh, yeah, but that was creepy. That's
big time.
And it was an old one. And it was all blue. And that weirded me out why everything in that movie was blue. And then these, ape people.
Well, and the ape faces,
yeah, they were creepy.
Because with the human eye and then that face,
yeah.
I don't know. I never actually sat and watched those old ones. They were too creepy for me, so I ran out of the room.
Not the Charlton Heston ones. We used to have
those ones, the blue ones.
Yeah. We used to watch those on. You're talking about the old one though, right, Adrienne?
From the 70s or 80s.
Yeah, we used to watch ours on 8mm film on our projector. You have to switch the reel out. All right, I'm gonna come with my 10th. Okay, so what do we do if we have the shared one? Oh, I guess it doesn't matter, because sometimes they do an elimination thing. But yeah, again, we'll be here all fucking night long if we do that. My number 10 is Silence of the Lambs.
Oh yes.
Yeah. And I don't even need to do any commentary on that because it's fucking great and everyone knows it's on a
best movie, one of the best movies ever made. Yeah.
All right, let's go. Let's move into number 9.
Number 9. Okay, this is a deep cut. The People Under the Stairs.
Oh, do I remember?
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I haven't seen that in a long time.
The husband and the wife, the husband with the crazy gimp mask, and then the helpful little weird guy that was stuck in the walls.
Are you talking about the original People Under the Stairs?
Yeah. I think it's Wes Craven.
Yes, it is a Wes Craven.
I loved that movie.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, People Under the Stairs. Maybe that's one that I'll watch with my daughter before Halloween comes across. All right, Adrienne, what about you? Number 9.
The next one that came to mind was The Exorcist.
Oh, yeah, that's the scariest.
That was scary.
Yeah, that one didn't bother me at all because I was never... Do you think you have to be religious for that one to be scary?
I'm not a religious... I've never really been religious, but I do believe in spirit things.
Right. So do you have to believe in that stuff for that one to be scary?
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that in my experience, people who are especially Catholic, those movies really affect you. It's kind of connecting to something that's maybe laying dormant in you, and it really just kind of pushes that. Because the rest of us, a lot of people when I saw it were laughing, but
well, that's why I'm saying maybe it was a growing up Catholic. Maybe I don't know.
I went to midnight mass. That was as Catholic as I was.
Yeah, but you did. But you did go. So there was a lot of that. The crucifix and all that stuff wasn't part of.
Really, the whole thing I did. I didn't know what the hell anybody was saying the whole time. It was stand up, kneel down, stand up, sit down, and then I was just looking at the stained glass windows most of the time. So I didn't they're speaking Latin. You don't.
Yeah.
Once a year, you don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you go for the pageantry.
But yeah, I will say that probably having I don't even remember if the priest couldn't even help the girl, or if he got it out of her.
An exorcist? Oh, that's right. She puked it.
If he didn't get it out of her, I guess that would be extra terrifying.
No, he takes the spirit and then throws himself out the window.
Oh.
Spoiler!
Okay, my number 9 is The Hills Have Eyes. It's one of my most favorite movies, the original one. I come back for you later, Gilly. I fucking love that movie. It's one of my all-time favorite. I think that would probably be even higher than 9, but that's where I'm at. All right, Jared, let's go with you.
Jarring. My number 8 is, of course, the Grand Marshal, It.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Curry's It. That movie did something to my psyche that I think I'm still reeling with today, but in a good way.
Sure.
Love that movie.
Do you like the new ones?
I love the new ones. I think the new ones are really, really good, and I think the new ones also are a lot closer to the book. But and of course, special effects, they really now can do a lot more than they could back then. But Tim Curry's Pennywise the Clown is so visceral, and I know tons of people. I mean, he wiped out scores of children in that as that character. I mean, real impressive stuff. Lots of kids are traumatized because
and that's why the clown is scary, I think.
Right. I really think that he kind of owns that. And I mean, I respect that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. I didn't care for the new ones, but I'm kind of a stubborn old fool. Adrienne, what about where are we at? Number 8?
10, 9, 8, yeah.
Well, you're number 8.
Sybil.
Ooh.
That one.
Very psychological.
Yeah, the girl had all these personalities, and I think it created a whole...
mass hysteria?
Yes. Because then after that, all these women were going to therapists with multiple personalities.
It became a cultural phenomenon. Even to this day, people will be knock it off, Sybil.
That
one messed me up.
Oh, that's good. Good. I like that you had one that
messed me up.
Yeah. So I know what I'm gonna do because I have honorable mentions. So I'm not going to use those. Instead, I'll switch out ones that were said, because since Slug said The Shining, because that was where I was going to do number 8, I'm going to throw in, I'm replacing it with one of these honorable mentions. So I'm going to go with Death Proof.
Death Proof.
Yeah, Tarantino's, the car.
Tarantino, yeah.
I fucking love that.
I haven't seen that actually.
Oh, it's so good. It's so well done. Robert Rodriguez's Planet Terror part.
Right.
That one is, whatever. I could live with or without it, but that Death Proof is so good, and Kurt Russell's fantastic in it. It's really well done. So that one's mine.
I'll check that one out.
Let's go into your number 7.
Okay, so this one, this one was like one of the most in like creative movies I think ever. The Cabin in the Woods.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen it.
You haven't?
No, but I hear it's on people's lists.
Okay, well, I'm not going to ruin it because this one is like a huge spoiler alert. Like, you could really mess the whole thing up with a spoiler, but I'm telling you, it is. What I'll say is just like they took a really traditional premise and built something off of it that is just like so creative, and I had so much fun watching.
Well, since that one's on your top 10, then that means that's one that we have to see.
It's worth it.
Okay, then I will look at, because it always pops up on my screen. And I'm like, maybe I'll see that, maybe I won't. But yeah, okay. Well, listen, that was your number 7, Cabin in the Woods, right? So cas-one from Strange Famous Records, he sent in his list. Let's hear what cas-one had to say for his top 10.
Top 10. This is not in any order because that would put me in a position to defend myself, which I don't want to do. Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yes.
Monster Squad.
Yes.
Ernest Scared Stupid. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Nightmare on Elm Street. This one's going to cause a stir, but my favorite of the Friday the 13th is the worst one, which is Jason Takes Manhattan. Cabin in the Woods will probably get me some hatred too, but I think it's probably a perfect horror movie. I love it. The Shining, Nightmare Before Christmas, and the best campy movie of all time, Troll 2.
It's gonna kill her and then kill me. I love Troll 2.
All right, so that was your 7 was Cabin in the Woods. Adrienne, what's your 7?
Mommy Dearest.
Oh, nice.
That was.
I always watch Mommy Dearest on Mother's Day.
I don't know if it's a Halloween one, but it was another.
It works. It works.
Okay, I'm going to go with my number 7, and my number 7 is The Witch. Yeah, I love that movie so much. It's so well done. I was going to try to stick to just old ones, but I think that's what my honorable mentions are.
I think that The Witch is like one of the most, like, I think it stands the rank of like one of the best horror movies ever made.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It was really an epic movie.
Did you see that one, Adrienne? Mm-mm. I think you would really like that one, actually.
So I have to say, like, when I saw that movie, I saw it in the theater, but it was like on Tuesday on that like half price movie night. So the movie theater is just packed full of making out 14-year-olds, throwing popcorn, being rowdy, and everyone's crazy, right? And I'm like, I'm just here to see the movie. And then the movie starts, and we watched the movie. And when the movie was over, everybody left the theater quietly in single file lines like they had all just been molested. And I was like, this is the best movie ever made.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe that, because it definitely makes you feel uneasy.
Especially the end. It does not leave you in a happy place.
No. All right, we're heading into number 6, right?
Okay.
Hey, Jared.
Number 6, The Lost Boys.
Oh, yeah.
That is a favorite for me.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
Never scared of it though.
Not scary. It's not scary, but it's like it's got that it's got the spooky element. It's just got a whole vibe. That movie's just got a theme, and it still stands.
It feels so great. Yeah,
I think we watched it 2 years ago or last year.
Last year with our kids,
and it is just still great.
And they liked it. Yeah, it still holds up. All right, good choice. Adrienne?
My sixth is Poltergeist.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's on my list, so I'll eliminate that. Good choice. I think that's a really good movie.
Step into the light, Caroline.
Good choice. Poltergeist. So that eliminates one of mine, which I like, because then I can pull from my honorables. My number, what are we on, number 6?
Yes.
This is kind of going to be...
Number 5. Or
I'm in my 6, yeah.
Yeah.
This is going to be kind of cheating, but I'm just going to go with the Evil Dead trilogy. Evil Dead 1, 2, and Army of Darkness.
Army of Darkness is so good.
Yeah, it's one of my all-time favorites.
Do you want another list from...
Yeah, should we play?
thing?
Okay, yeah. Okay, before we go into Jared's 5th, let's hear Alexander Brown. Oh, his is quick. Here's Alexander Brown's top 10.
Alright, so if I had to pick a top 10 Halloween movie list, it would probably be Hocus Pocus, Nightmare Before Christmas, Ernest Scared Stupid, Beetlejuice, Casper, Ghostbusters, Edward Scissorhands, Addams Family, The Exorcist, and The Witch.
Hey, what was he
That was
cruised?
his Halloween list.
Oh, he just went, yeah, because he cruised, but there was one in there that was,
Beetlejuice.
no, there was one.
Until he got to the last two, I was all, somebody's parents didn't let them rated our movie.
Yeah, what? Oh man, there was one in there because didn't he start with Hocus Pocus? All great movies. Casper.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right, I'll take it. That's cool. Thanks, Alexander Brown. All right, let's go into Jared's 5th.
Okay, so since we're canceling out ones that we took from each other, you took my witch, so I am raising you a leprechaun.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It's good. It's like Jennifer Aniston's first movie. Warwick Davis is, everybody thinks his greatest performance is in Willow, and I disagree. I think Leprechaun is really where he...
I mean, that is what gave him his fame.
I'm sure he has a lot of real estate that he owes to the Leprechaun franchise.
Yeah, did he end up playing Leprechaun in all the sequels, or
all the ones I saw, all the way up to Leprechaun in Space?
Well, I haven't seen that Leprechaun for probably since it came out, and it was like I think probably 1984.
It's worth it. It's
all right,
really campy.
It's worth going back and checking. Then you're saying, or are you just saying it's great from back then?
No, it's worth checking out.
Okay,
you'll have a good laugh.
I'll go back to it then. All right, Adrienne, your 5th.
My 5th was Howard the Duck.
Oh yes. Whatever you is, I love that movie.
Our kids, I think, wasn't Soul or someone was terrified
they
of
were also afraid of it.
Yeah, that end scene when he goes all weird.
The doctor or the
the
whole movie's kind of like what do you?
I love
Duck
that
was
movie.
like so into this human lady.
Yeah, that's like well, it was weird because there's a full on sex. There's a duck on woman sex scene.
I didn't really ever think about that, but you're right.
There is. It's so creepy.
But I think I didn't notice that until I was a parent.
Yeah.
Watching it with my kids, going, "Oh
Oh my God! This duck's about to have sex with McFly's wife."
Do you think she have a real baby or eggs?
Well, she already has eggs.
Yeah, they're just
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Oh, all right, that's 5, right? Here's my number 5, because that's what we're at, right? My number 5 is Maximum Overdrive. I fucking love the movie. We just watched it.
I haven't seen that.
It's Emilio Estevez, and it's a Stephen King. It's Stephen King directed it. It's a Stephen King movie. It's really campy. It's really shitty, but it's really good. So yeah, that's one that I suggest people check out. And you're gonna hate it, but it's so good.
Is that
Love
the
to hate
just
it.
watch with the trucks?
Yeah, where the trucks, where they get stuck in the
gosh.
truck stop.
That
It's so
was
great.
awful.
No, it's so
that
great.
was so bad.
Maximum Overdrive.
I fell asleep. I was like, okay, I get it. There's trucks going in circles. Was it NASCAR?
No. All right, let's go, Jared. Your 4th.
I'm surprised that nobody has picked this yet, but Hereditary. Ari Aster is the next Alfred Hitchcock, and he did Hereditary and Midsommar. And I love his horror movies because it's not like jump scares. He will just sit and disturb you for like an hour and a half, and you're just like in this like trauma spiral, and then he's like, and scene.
And movie's over.
Yeah.
Enjoy the rest of your life.
You will shit your pants watching that movie.
All right.
At least I'll poop.
At least. Thank you, Ari Aster.
All right, Adrienne, let's go into your 4.
My next one was Fright Night.
Oh, yeah. Good,
I loved
great
that
movie.
one.
It's a really good one. Yeah, Fright Night's a great movie. Sorry, I yelled into the
I
microphone.
don't know if it holds up anymore, though.
It does. I mean, kind of. Yeah, it's good. I just watched it 3 nights ago, or just started to watch it and then fell asleep, only because I was super tired. It's a good one.
And the remake is really good, too. I liked it.
Oh, I haven't seen the remake.
With Colin Farrell?
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
It's good. I liked it.
I would maybe watch that. I didn't mention, I don't have on my list that new one, the new vampire movie, but I thought that was really good.
Which one?
With
Twilight.
Twilight.
No, the one with Jamie Foxx.
Oh, that was a good movie on Netflix.
It wasn't scary.
Oh, yeah.
My scary
With Snoop
list, but
Dogg.
it was good.
It's
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg and Jamie Foxx. Did you watch it?
I did.
Yeah, it's a good one.
You didn't like
it's
it?
fun.
No, I did. I really liked it.
Let me go into my 4th. And since it already got used, I'm gonna bring in an honorable mention because it was gonna be Nightmare on Elm Street. So I'm gonna go with Jacob's Ladder.
Oh, so good.
It's one of my favorites. So yeah, I'm glad I got to throw Jacob's Ladder in there. Thank you, everyone. Go watch it. It's a good one. It's really good. Yeah, let's go into Sage Francis. Sage Francis gave us put together a list. Let's hear what Sage had to say.
Hey Ty, Sage Francis here. Not much of a horror movie buff. Really don't enjoy gore or the pop out of nowhere, scare you, boo type horror movies. But so I was scared I wouldn't have a list for you big enough. And then the more I thought about it, the more I realized I have seen a lot of horror, especially the classics. And that's a lot of what other people will probably mention. So it's like movies that legit spooked me as a kid were mostly psychological thrillers like The Shining, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Nightmare on Elm Street, The Exorcist, Children of the Corn, The Omen, Poltergeist, Body Snatchers, Sandman, The Hills Have Eyes. And those are all like 80s, late 70s classics. Maybe a couple are a little earlier than that. But so let me focus on 5 that came out in my adult life that spooked me or was fascinated by. I think the obvious choice is Get Out. That is a brilliant movie that just surpasses any expectations of what I would have for any type of film, not just horror, but completely brilliant movie. That's funny and scary and psychologically twisted. And yeah, so I think that's an obvious choice. Bird Box, which came out in 2018 with Sandra Bullock. It got a lot of fanfare and people, but it also was compared to A Quiet Place. I never saw A Quiet Place. But what bugged me out about Bird Box is it reminded me of my nightmares. There's this nightmare logic in Bird Box that really kind of freaked me out. So I'm going to mention that. Blair Witch Project, I was prime audience target for that movie. The lead up to it, I went to see it in the movie theaters. There was all the rumors that the Blair Witch Project was an actual found footage. I mean, I took all of that with a grain of salt, but I considered it a possibility, which made the movie more enjoyable. And it tripped me out because I kind of live in the woods, and I had a hard time being in the woods after watching that movie. So it affected me, and I thought it was done brilliantly. I also got to give a shout out to the underdogs with the low budget, making it pop. So The Ring was another one that got me a little sketched out when my phone would ring. And, I mean, any kind of horror that can involve technology it borders on sci-fi to me. And there's a lot of great sci-fi horror flicks too that I'm not mentioning, but The Ring did its thing. And shout out to another movie that uses technology, Cry Wolf. I have to shout out Cry Wolf because John Bon Jovi's in it and they feature my song Sea Lion. But I'm not including that in this list. The last of the movies I want to mention is Cabin in the Woods. That movie kind of was like, it put horror as a genre in a motherfucking coffin. It's so good. It plays up on every stereotype in the perfect way. It just demolishes every trope. You know, it's just so well done. Great fucking special effects and all that. But I love that movie. I've seen it multiple times. I have to give a special shout out. Now I'm not including these two, but 13 Ghosts, which my wife made me watch because she said it traumatized her when she first saw it, and she was very scared to watch it again. So we sat down, we searched it out, we watched it, and it's very cheesy. And it's funny, like she kind of watching her come to the realization that she's kind of built it up in her head all these years, and then watching it again, realizing it's really not very scary at all. But what was the other one I wanted to mention? I'm sorry. Anyways, that's a lot. That's way more than you asked for. But the top 5 I would discuss or include in my adult life: Spook Me Out movies, Get Out, Bird Box, Blair Witch Project, The Ring, Cabin in the Woods. Blow. Strange Famous.
Awesome. That was cool. I'm really glad that Sage sent us one in because he's really good at articulating the things, because Blair Witch was on my list, so I'm glad that he took it up because I had the same experience. I took it with a grain of salt, like this was real, but I really thought it was kind of real footage. So it was fucking really creepy and a different kind of movie I ever saw. So,
and look what it spawned.
Yeah. No, yeah, it was really good. I really liked Bird Box with Sandra Bullock too. I don't know if you liked that one, but
I did too. Yeah.
I hope he'll go watch Quiet Place because I think that's the better of the two. And Quiet Place I really love. So anyway, thanks Sage. That was awesome. I loved hearing them. All right, let's go into number 4 for Jared. Jared, number 4. 4 for Door.
You mean 3?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. 3. But I wanted to just do a rhyme. 3 for me.
3 for me. So this one is still one of my all-time favorite movies. Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh yeah, that's the one with
Winona Ryder, Keanu Reeves, Gary Oldman, Anthony Hopkins. I mean, like Francis Ford Coppola, the costumes, the music, like the special effects. I mean, everything about that movie is perfect. I love it. Like, that's all I can really say.
Yeah, it's a really good one. All right, Adrienne, your 3.
These weren't in any order, by the way.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
But this one always freaked me out, although I loved it, was Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, I love that movie.
So good.
We used to watch that when we were kids all the time.
When that one guy I think he gets possessed or something. There's something happens, and I think there's throw up involved. And it just always scared me.
Yeah, no, that was one of my favorite movies of all time.
Doesn't he get possessed or his eyes turn blue?
Her eyes turn green. She gets possessed. Well, they're about to marry Shout or what is this?
I don't even remember. I just remember it scared me.
Oh, it's really good. And the guy blows up. The guy gets so angry.
Oh, maybe it wasn't.
He gets so angry. He just explodes.
If they made a movie that was like they're like a 14-year-old boy made this movie, like it would be Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, it was such a great movie. Well, my 3, and I already talked about it a lot in last episode, so I'll just say it. But it's Bad Taste. Bad Taste is another one of my favorite gore movies.
Bad Taste?
Yeah, it's one of Peter Jackson's very first movies, and it is so fucking gory and campy and shitty, but it's so good. So yeah, if you can ever find that anywhere, that one's a must see. Peter Jackson plays a character in it that falls off a cliff, and his head hits a rock and it explodes open, and then he's alive through the whole rest of the movie. And he takes his belt, and his brains keep falling out of his head. So he takes his belt and wraps it around his head to hold his brains in his head. The whole movie, it's so great.
Like you do.
All right, number 2.
Number 2, Aliens. I love it, and one of the things that I really love about it the most is that almost all movies, like horror movies, action movies, whatever, it's all about like the guy saving the girl, and that movie is about the girl saving the girl and her little girl, and it's like a mom saving her daughter, and the alien's the queen alien's a female, so it's very female on female, like everything. I love that movie. It's a masterpiece.
Yep, it is a masterpiece. Sigourney Weaver is so great in the whole series. She's fantastic. All right, Adrienne, your number 2.
My number 2 scary one was Sleeping with Enemy.
Oh, I don't even remember. I know I've seen that.
Kevin Kline? Is that Kevin Kline?
I don't know.
I can't remember. I know I've seen it. I can't remember. Well,
it was, I think, psychological. It's she's trying to leave her husband, and he's crazy.
My number 2 is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Number 2. One of my all-time favorite movies. It's the second one. The first one's really good, but the second one I saw, and I already mentioned this in the last episode, but yeah, I watched it at a friend's house, and I was trying to be so cool, and then the older kids fell asleep, and I was hiding under the bed, and I called my mom and said, "Can you come pick me up?" It was late at night, and he was one of the kids in the neighborhood. It was new. They had one of those alarm doors that you couldn't like open the door, and I was just trying to sneak out. And I couldn't fucking get out of the house. It was awful. But there's a line in a Primus.
Now you know what it feels like to be a child of today.
I know. But yeah, there is a line in a Primus song from that, and it's "Dog Will Hunt," and that came from Texas Chainsaw Massacre too. For any of you Primus fans out there, Dose One called in. I don't think he made a list, but let's just hear what Dose One had to say.
Okay.
It's Dose. I am in a horror movie right now. It's called Las Vegas. It's children.
Oh.
Yeah, he said there's children.
Almost done. Hold on.
No, that was it.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we'll do your number 1.
So my number 1 got stolen because I put The Shining as number 1 just because it's The Shining. It's kind of like the golden beacon, you know. But another comparable number 1 in my eyes is Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh, look at you going with the Creature from the Black Lagoon.
I have always been obsessed with that movie. I've been obsessed with the whole series, like the Return of the Creature Walks Among Us. I mean, I've seen them all. I have the box set. I love it. But Creature from the Black Lagoon is truly like one of my favorite Beauty and the Beast stories. And it's filmed great. It's epic. I love everything about it.
All right, Adrienne, what about your number 1?
Mine was Silence of the Lambs that got taken. So one that I had written prior to that was The Terminator. Always scared me.
Whoa, really? Well, that's a great movie, though.
I love that. The Terminator.
Oh, he like that cop guy is chasing that car.
Oh, that's Terminator too.
Gets like these claw things. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's Terminator 2?
Yeah. Terminator 1 even
Terminator
has
2
a little
then.
bit creepier. Not
I don't
creepier,
know.
but it's cool.
I don't ever really remember watching them, but I remember them scaring me enough to not watch them and push them out of my brain.
Oh, that's interesting. Terminator, because I bet that's not on anybody's number 1 list.
When I'm in Hannibal, Adrienne, I'm going to run after your car with the knife hand.
Well, I used to have nightmares when I was a kid that I would be running and these 2 men would be chasing me and they would almost just get me and they'd have their knives and they would cut my calves. They would just like and they would be cutting my calves and I was constantly running from them and they were right behind me, stabbing my calves. So maybe that has something to do with the guy on the Terminator. I don't know.
The chasing, lots of chasing in that movie. I remember
Those knife hand things.
He
And he, like,
only
stabs
used
the
those knife hand
car.
things once, but yeah, I guess that
That's
had lasting impact.
That's
Yeah.
all I remember.
Well, my number one, I think it got taken. Let me look. Oh, no, it didn't. My number one, I'm wearing the shirt. My number one is Day of the Dead. I think it's one of the best movies ever made, and it still holds up. The acting is fantastic. The special effects are fantastic. The whole story is fantastic. It's such a great movie. It's George Romero is probably one of the best zombie movie makers of all time.
And it's also like I was speaking about, like with Fright Night, like that iconic like video box. Day of the Dead is like one of those as well for me.
Yeah, it's a laster forever. I love it. I'm going to tell you I'm going to rapid fire my honorable mentions. What We Do in the Shadows, Swamp Thing, Werewolf in London, Nightbreed, 976 Evil, Get Out, Hellraiser, The Fog, A Quiet Place, Misery, Scream, Creepshow, Devil's Advocate, Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer,
Oh, well, that's enough.
The Thing, Poltergeist, Shaun of the Dead, 28 Days Later, Zombieland, and Death Proof.
You
There
just Googled every movie.
No, I didn't. That's not even, and that's still just scratching the surface. There are so many great movies out there.
And we just barely scratched the surface. Like, I mean, I could go on forever.
Yeah, and I left so many out. Well, and then I just tried to slap them in there. Well, thanks, Jared, for sitting with us. What can we promote? Where do you like people to know what's happening in the night of Jared?
Well, the best thing is the Instagram, of course. Jared Knight Art on Instagram. That's where I put almost all of my work. And then I have my website, jaredknightart.com, that you can reach me. And most importantly, at the in Hannibal at the Creatures of the Night show, that's where I'd like you to see me the most.
Awesome.
So please
We'll
come.
see you there.
Yeah, we'll see you there in person. It's going to be great. We're going to have a fun time.
In 7 days.
7 days later. Tremors. Oh, I forgot to put Tremors on the list. Sorry. All right. Go pee. Have a great rest of your night.
To be continued.
To be continued. Have a great rest of your night. Thanks for joining us, Jared.
Love you guys. Bye.
Peace.
Let's take a trip to Halloween.
Thanks, Jared, for joining us. Let's take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to hear some people. We got a few more people that called in with their top 10 lists. Some really cool people, too. The final remaining people whose lists we're going to get are Chesky, our good friend Johnny Ritchie, Mopes, our other friend Quentin Hughes, Gelrock, Mr. Dibbs, and Black Lick. They got some great lists set up for us, and I'm very intrigued to hear all of them. So let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
DOD45.
Hot sauce.
Amplify the flavor of your favorite foods with Hob Sauce's award-winning flavors. Create your own 4-pack at hobsauces.com. Not only do they make dope hot sauce, they collaborate with dope artists for their labels and flavors, including myself, Atmosphere, Aesop Rock, Crayola, Rob Sonic, and so many more. We love Hob Sauce over here at DOD45 and damn near put it on everything we eat. We got extra bottles in the car, Adrienne has one in her purse, I have an emergency bottle in my backpack, and if you're ever running out, we always have a bottle available of the garlic turmeric, which I did the octopus label for, here at my gallery in Hannibal, Missouri. Hit it, Bobby.
Have sauce, have sauce. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Put it on your food.
Hot sauce.
Hey, it's me, Ty, just popping on real quick to let you know that my art is available for purchase at artbyty.com. So if you like what you're seeing or you want to support this podcast, the best way for you to do that is by picking up a print or an original on my website. If you're not quite ready for a purchase, but you still want to help out, go ahead and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else you stream from, and be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you'll never miss an episode. All right, enough of all that. Now let's get back to the show.
DOD45.
Welcome back. Thank you. Let's go ahead and hear. It's all about Halloween right now. So let's hear Chesky's list, his top 10. I think it's the top 10. Let's just hear what Chesky had to say with the movies.
What up, Ty? This is Chesky. Wanted to give my top 10. It's not an easy thing to get put together, but I was thinking maybe if I can break it down by my childhood into adulthood. So I'm gonna my first 5 I'm gonna mention are ones I saw when I was a kid that affected me deeply. The first horror movie I saw as a kid that affected me deeply was Poltergeist. That freaked me out. I know that there were actual deaths on that movie set. At least that's the myth. I haven't really looked into it since, but that movie always got to me. Pet Sematary is one I always go back to. If I was going to pick one one horror movie I've gone back to more than any other, is probably Pet Sematary. It's got that mix of, I don't know, nostalgia for me with shared terror, like the Zelda scenes with her back and whatever illness she had. Those always like appear in my dreams, unfortunately. The Exorcist, that's an easy one, I think. Classic. I grew up Catholic. I was a Catholic schoolboy. That shit was very real to me. There was one point in time in my life when my brother, he was acting out a lot when my parents were getting divorced, and they tried to get an exorcist for him.
Scary.
For real. This really happened. He was probably like 9 years old or something like that.
Jesus.
Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is just like that quintessential 80s. It's like teen flick, high school flick meets fucking horror. And Freddy was extra hilarious and he came into his own. I feel like, I mean, those first movies are all good, but that was the one that stood out for me. Like I went back to it a lot, and it was really fun. I remember just being at friends' houses, being way too young to watch all those movies, but we just watched them on loop. Another one I saw in the theater, which was bizarre, it was almost more bizarre than frightening, was Lawnmower Man. Lawnmower Man. I remember walking away from that experience being like, what the fuck did I just watch?
Weird one.
Is he half lawnmower?
No.
Like
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
No.
Those are 5
sci-fi
from my childhood. I should give a shout out to Dead Zone, which was the first Stephen King book I read when I was in elementary school.
Wow.
It was a book I picked up at the Safeway, and it had so much foul language in it that it was just enticing to a young mind. Now I know that Stephen King was just railed out on cocaine the entire time he wrote those books. But it makes a lot of sense. He could take a lot from a very small idea, and he could make it into a 300, 400-page book. But Dead Zone holds a place in my heart. I actually really like it, but it's not really scary, so I can't put it on this list as a movie. I believe it was Christopher Walken that was in it. It was a good movie, but not scary. Okay, then into my teen years, I discovered Suspiria. I fell in love with the music of Goblin as well. But yeah, just Argento films in general, but also just the whole vibe, the music around that kind of horror movie is some of my favorite, like Italian horror. And I guess along those same lines, I could put Rosemary's Baby.
Didn't you put
it's
that on
just
your
that
list?
more psychological, I don't even know, esoteric kind of horror.
That's a good one.
Is appealing to me. Pretty slow and artistic. So yeah, I'll give a shout to Rosemary's Baby. Videodrome is one. I wanted to put something by Cronenberg because I realized Cronenberg had an effect on me early. There was a movie in the 90s he made called Crash.
That's a good one.
That was really bizarre. It was like sexualizing car crashes, and it stuck with me because probably because I was probably 15 or something when that came out, and it was just those bizarre movies stuck with me more than anything. It wasn't really horror, so I can't put Crash on that list, but I'll put Videodrome on that list, which I discovered by just getting into Cronenberg films.
Videodrome's a weird one.
It's very 80s in interesting ways, in nostalgic ways, just visually and everything, but it's also just bizarro horror. That could fit into there.
For sure.
Later on, one of my favorite kind of creepy films is El Espinazo del Diablo.
Seen that.
The Devil's Backbone. Guillermo del Toro out of Mexico. Obviously, he became way more famous after that, but I love that movie. It really stuck with me. I believe it must have been his first feature film, early 2000s, I would guess. That's a great movie if you haven't seen it. The Devil's Backbone.
Yeah,
he went on
watch
to
that
make
tonight.
like Pan's Labyrinth and eventually win Oscars and stuff. And then I'm going to give a final shout out to Get Out. I thought Get Out was one of the more interesting horror films of the last decade. And I should say that one of the most frightening films to me in my youth was Mississippi Burning.
Oh, God, yeah.
And I remember being a little kid and watching that movie and just being like blown away that people did that
in the South. You saw
to
it
other
already?
people in this country. Like the history of this country is more frightening than any fantasy to me. And so Get Out kind of touches upon that in a way that a lot of films don't. And so I appreciated Get Out when I saw that. But yeah, Mississippi Burning freaked me out as a kid. And so Get Out is like a modern touch on the horrors of racism. And I fucking really appreciate that. Okay, that's my top 10.
Wow, awesome.
Happy Halloween.
Thanks, Chesky.
Peace, Ty.
Peace. Yeah, that was awesome.
Was that Get Out the one with the
They take
the girl finds a black boyfriend?
Yes,
Oh,
and then
okay.
she takes him to the house, and
Yeah, well,
then
you don't have to spoil it.
Oh
but
yeah, yeah. That's a really good movie, and I like that it's coming up in everyone's list because they didn't make like it was just from a different perspective.
Yeah.
It's
that
so good.
Antebellum was really good.
Yeah, I like that
too.
Antebellum. That wasn't a Jordan Peele one, but it feels like that. But that was a good one. All of Jordan Peele's movies are really good. I can't even remember, like Ma, I think it's called. Anyway, we've heard my list. But yeah, that was awesome. Thanks, Chesky. That's why I knew Chesky did a longer one with the thought out because he asked if he could do some commentary on it. I was like, yeah, for sure. That's what I want to hear. So yeah, I figured it was going to work out that we end the episode with these. All right, so that was Chesky's. Who after Chesky, let's go. Let's hear our good friend Johnny. I know he's gonna have a good list. He's a Mr. Movie man.
What's up, everybody? Johnny Ritchie here, friend of Art by Ty. I was on the podcast, season 1, episode 10, and here are my top 10 horror movies. You may disagree, you may agree with some of them, but here we go. Number 10, Pumpkinhead. Oh man, that show used to scare the crap out of me when I was younger. 9, Human Centipede.
Oh my
Just
God.
disgusting. 8, a newer movie, Antlers.
Oh, I haven't
Yeah,
seen
man.
that.
Creepy little kid, monsters, gotta love it. Number 7, The Host. Not the movie with the girl about aliens. This is a Korean monster movie.
Oh, yeah, that's
The
a good
Host.
one.
Check it out. Number 6, Cabin in the Woods. Not the movie you think you're gonna see when you see it. It's completely different. It's funky. Really like Cabin in the Woods.
That one came up a
Number
lot.
5, another Korean movie, I Saw the Devil. Woo!
Oh, I haven't watched
About a
that.
serial killer and a cop that gets revenge. It's pretty good. Number 4, The Thing. Not the original from way back,
Oh, I love the original.
but the remake with Kurt Russell, practical effects. Man, I love that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Number 3, Stephen King's The Mist.
Oh, that was a good one.
Man, that just, well, I don't even know what to say. Watch that movie. One of the craziest endings I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, good old-fashioned Nightmare on Elm Street. That's right. He was my favorite slasher of all time. Not Freddy, or not Jason, not Michael Myers. Freddy all the
agree.
way.
Freddy
And the
was
number
mine.
one movie that had impact on me and scared the crap out of me from when I was a little kid and I first saw it.
Exorcist.
My parents didn't know I saw it, but I saw it. Number 1, The Exorcist. Exorcist. Man, that movie
Johnny's also
still
Catholic.
to this day freaks me out. All right. Couple little side notes, little honorable mentions. Pet Cemetery, The Fly, and Aliens. But that's my top 10. Hope you like it. You get some time, check them out. And make sure you listen to DOD45. Boom.
Awesome. Yeah, see, Johnny's like Johnny's excitable. He's always going to come at you. It's awesome. Yeah, great list. All right. Let's yeah.
I can't remember. I was going to say something and I can't remember what.
I don't mean to generalize Catholic, but it seems like that whole
It's the priests and stuff.
yeah, the priests are, exorcists. The only people that are doing exorcisms. What?
Oh, I just didn't know there was a light right here. I knocked over.
Exorcisms are done from the Catholic Church. So yeah, I think that one only resonates. Not only, but mostly
Or
resonates.
probably Catholic, very Catholic-like. There's a lot of religions that
do exorcisms.
Basically the exact same as Catholic.
Yeah, so yeah, that's weird. Yeah, because that movie that I said earlier, Serpent and the Rainbow, was a movie I wanted to have on my top 10 list, but it deals with voodoo, and so that kind of like exorcism, right? No, a little bit, or no? Oh, I don't know. I guess it's not. All right. Okay, let's go. Mopes. Mopes is called in, gave us his top 10. Let's hear what Mopes has to say, his top 10 horror movies.
All right, top 10 horror films. Here we go. Mopes, SFR. Rosemary's Baby, The Shining, Exorcist, Midsummer, Saw 1, Psycho, Scream, Train to Busan, 28 Days Later, and the original Texas Chainsaw.
Awesome. Yeah, that Midsummer. Have you seen that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I thought you watched it.
I don't know. Tell me.
I don't know. I tried to watch it one night, and I was not prepared for it mentally. So I hear people talking about it, and I know it's good, but I think that one's one that's gonna take me a minute. I have to ease into it, and I think
this is a pretty new one, right?
Yes.
I think I just saw it. Just came up on Netflix.
Yeah,
Is
I
that
thought
right?
you watched it one night, like after you watched what's that series with the nuns that you watch?
The Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah, I thought you watched it like one night after that. Because I think it's psycho. I think it's a.
No,
well,
I've never
I don't
seen
know.
it. I've never seen those
Okay.
images. But I will say that everybody keeps mentioning Freddy, and that one definitely was my scariest.
Well, that's right. You were
ever.
terrified of that. You got so mad at me one night recently, and I was singing the song. Yeah, and I didn't realize. I didn't realize how terrified of it you were. So yeah,
It's crazy because I used to watch it so much, but then I would lay in bed and just be like, I can't go to sleep. I
so
can't go to
good.
sleep.
Yeah, it's a really good one. It's done so well, but yeah, I don't know. You know what else I wanted to say? I love the way those guys say horror.
Horror.
I love it. It's cool. That's a New England thing, right?
East Coast, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, because Bruce says it like that too. Yeah, it's fun. All right, let's go. Oh, our other good friend, Quentin Hughes. He was on the pilot episode of DOD45. My main man, Quentin, he was in the band with me and everything. So, I don't know. I'm trying to do a lead into it. Let's hear what Quentin had to say.
What's up, DOD45? It's your man, Quentin Hughes. I was asked to provide a list of top 10 horror movies. Some are old, some are new, but these 10 are definitely some of my faves. I got a lot of faves, but definitely these ones stand out the most because they scared the shit out of me in one way or another. Let's go with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Babadook, Midsummer, The Exorcist, Poltergeist, The Silence of the Lambs, The Thing, Hereditary, The Strangers, and Day of the Dead. Happy Halloween, y'all.
Thanks, Q. Yeah, Day of the Dead making the top one. It's the best one ever. Thank you so much, Quentin. That's fantastic. Okay, we're coming in in the home stretch. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's go. Let's hear Gel Rock from the Cloaks.
Yo, what up? This is Gel Rock, and I'm dropping in with my top 10 scary movie list for the DOD45 podcast with Art by Tai. So yeah, I'm big into Dracula and vampires. Right out the gate, I'm going to have to list Gary Oldman in Bram Stoker's Dracula. Gary Oldman's one of my favorite actors of all time. But Bram Stoker's Dracula was the shit growing up. Yeah, I'm very into the classics as well. So Christopher Lee, who played in The Horror of Dracula, and then you can't front on the OG Bela Lugosi as Count Dracula. I would throw in Blade with Wesley Snipes.
Oh, that's a cool one.
And from a cult classic perspective, from a monster perspective, I would go Creature of the Black Lagoon. And on some werewolf shit, The Howling was ill back in the day. An American Werewolf in London would be another. I think that puts me like at 8. You can't leave Exorcist off the list. That was like crazy growing up. And even Amityville Horror was probably one of the illest. And my bonus, I'm going to give you the bonus on some newer horror flick, is Insidious. Insidious is crazy. It has a lot of like prequel and spin-off movies that are all really dope. But yeah, man, big ups to Art by Tai and the DOD45 podcast. This is Gel Rock from the Cloaks. Much respect and happy Halloween.
Nice. What was the one he said? One that I wanted to make a comment on. Shit. Man, my short-term memory is garbage. Well,
we're listing a lot of movies here.
Yeah, we are. So. You're getting a full-on overload of movies. Well, here we go. Let's get a list from Mr. Dibbs.
Well, due to the last-minute nature of the request, I was only able to come up with my top 3 monster/horror flicks. So I'm going to do my top 3 from the peak of COVID. A little lesser known, some of them, but, they're out there. They're available. You can find them. Trust me. Number 3, Moist. Starring Jamie Lee Curtis Mayfield. Number 2, Stranger Than Pulp Fiction. With Larry Travolta, that's John's little brother. San Quentin Tarantino is kind of a rabbit duck beaver hybrid, and Wesley Bruce Willis. And number 1 for the win, The Clown Doesn't Have a Penis. The Clown Doesn't Have a Penis. Starring Sir Elton John Wayne Gacy. There it is. Top 3 COVID horror / monster flicks. Enjoy.
Well, there you go. That Larry Travolta, John's little brother, he was in that movie, The Urban Cowboy. All right. You seen any of those movies?
what's real and what's not. Especially you two.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Dibbs. If you can find those movies anywhere, rent them, buy them, and send them our way. and give us a review of them. All right, let's wrap. We're gonna finish it out with Black Lit coming in hot. I'm sure. What was that noise?
I think it was either a chainsaw or a motorcycle.
Oh, that distracted me. We're about to get taken out with a chainsaw. Oh, I'll blast on them. No, yeah, that's funny though. It did stop me in my tracks, though. I wanted to make sure we weren't about to get attacked by Leatherface. All right, here we go. Black Lick.
All right, check it out. Yo, Black Lick here. I'm about to put you down with these scary movies. Now, number one, I know my list isn't perfect, but all these joints is good. And I'm going to do it from the bottom to the top, yo. So, look, 10, Blair Witch, man. I know, kind of corny, but, like, people thought that shit was real. So, I mean, it's kind of dope. 4 joint, number 9, man. Irreversible.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Real messed up. Crazy ending, which is actually the beginning. Something totally different. It'll catch you slipping. Number 8, Terrifier. Not the second one. The second one sucked, except for the one crazy scene. The first one. That shit was wild. 7, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the 78 joint with Kiefer Sutherland's dad, Donald, in it. I checked that out again not too long ago, and I gotta admit, yo, some good shit. 6, the classic Freddy joint, man, Nightmare on Elm Street. This is kind of like a genre in itself. You could put Jason there, you know what I mean, or whatever the hell else, but really Nightmare on Elm Street, that's the best one of that era. Number 5, I almost went with Zombie, but I'm gonna go with Night of the Living Dead. Like the 90s joint with the black dude and the white chick. It starts with like the white chick and her brother or boyfriend, whatever, at the graveyard. That joint is hard, yo.
That was Tom Savini's
4,
remake of it.
Come on, man. We got to put some muscles on it. Yo, Kurt Russell, dog, The Thing.
Oh, yeah.
Ice Cold in Alaska with an alien. You can't beat it, bro. I almost went with Aliens there. But I was like, you know what? I really don't want to see Sigourney Weaver again. 3, Rosemary's Baby. You can say what you want, man, but that joint is a slow boil, yo. And it's awesome. I would never wear anything with tannis root, and I can't even have a baby. Number 2, one of my all-time favorite movies, or just top movies, period, a textbook on success in life, Devil's Advocate. It's literally a movie that'll teach you everything you need to know about getting rich. And I'm not even all the way rich, but it teaches you all about life and what you go through as you, like, come up. Because money, that's the easy part. Number 1, Cannibal Holocaust. It can't be beat. It's got it all. And then some. It's a masterpiece. And a true horror gem. And if you don't know what it is, which a lot of people don't, that is the one. That is the one movie that should be mandatory horror film viewing. And I'm talking like the uncut original joint. Sad as it may sound, that joint, a lot of that is real. And you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. Peace.
Blacklick sent also a follow-up text with that said, he said, tough list to make, but I did that shit. My bad, my hair decided to co-star in the recording. Sounds like I'm on a jail phone. And then he wanted me to give an honorable mention shout out, and that was the movie Event Horizon. And that is a really good one. It takes place on a spaceship. And I haven't seen that one in a long time, and I think
Oh, there is no... Sorry.
Lawrence Fishburne's in it. Event
There
Horizon.
is absolutely no freaking way I will be watching Cannibal
Holocaust? I haven't seen it.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm going to go check out a lot of these. I'm going to try to at least catch that Midsommers tonight. Okay.
Well, don't watch this one with the kids.
Oh, I'll have to look at it. Does it look pretty brutal?
Yeah. Really brutal. 1979.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, I guess he's saying it. I'm going to try it. I'm going to have to watch it in the daytime. With a sucker. All good things.
So have a hamburger after.
So, I didn't get asked Jared the philosophical question. Oh, well, the episode ran a little long.
You can ask me.
Okay, here's your philosophical question. Well, here's a useless fact for you, too.
Red is shot in every color of the
How'd you know that?
Shining.
Oh, you're looking at it. Yeah, the color red is present in almost every shot in the movie of The Shining.
Sorry, spoiler.
No, that's okay. And I should have brought that up because everyone was talking about The Shining. And here's your philosophical. How would virtue ethics apply to a race of...
Yeah, you already lost me.
I
can't do it.
How would virtue ethics apply to a race of rational vampires on both the case where vampirism is an infection and where vampires are a separate species?
Maybe you can email that to me so I can read it.
Holy shit, I
have no
don't
idea
either.
what you just said.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, that was awesome. Awesome episode. It ran a little long, but I don't know. Lots of people love horror movies. I know I do. And it was really great because even Sage, when I got a hold of him, he was like, I don't really like horror movies. But it was just cool to hear him say like, oh, but you know what? It's not just about the horror movies. People have memories of things, and it was nice to hear everyone's memories. So thank you, Jared Knight, for being our guest. And if I could just throw these out. Thanks so much, Slug, cas-one, Alexander Brown, Sage Francis, Dose1, Chesky, Johnny Ritchie, Mopes, Quentin, Gelrock, Mr. Dibbs, Blacklick, and C's Mics. Illogic was going to try to get one into us. AWOL1 was going to try to get one in, but he was doing some recording. A lot of people were going to try to get him into us, but it was last minute. This episode came in last minute. So I really want to thank everyone. Slug's even on tour, and
I'm glad that we didn't get any more. That was a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of lists, but it was just cool to hear from folks and hear their lists. But it was a perfect amount. So thank you to all of them. Thanks to everybody. Thank you, Adrienne, for grabbing dinner right before we recorded the episode, making dinner every single night. And thanks to Jared Knight. That's it for now. Happy Halloween, everybody. If you don't like Halloween, maybe you like Thanksgiving. I don't know. That's my least favorite holiday.
I'll tell you what the hell?
It's that chainsaw.
I will tell you, I will be running around with a chainsaw if these Halloween decorations are still out on November 2nd.
Okay, well, we'll start decorating for... I think it's a bullet bike.
It's a werewolf.
Casket on wheels.
Clean up your Halloween decorations, everyone.
And Thanksgiving's the worst holiday, by the way. Worst food. Oh, just kidding. Okay, yeah, Adrian's right. The last words are clean up your Halloween decorations, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of your evening. Happy Halloween. DOD45. Thank you for joining in on yet another episode of DOD45. Please hit the subscribe or follow button so that you never miss an episode. You can even go one step further by leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts to help other interesting people like yourself find our podcast. You can find me at Art by Tai on all the socials or at artbytai.com. If you'd like to follow this podcast on social media, we are at DOD45W on Instagram, or you can go over to our website, DOD45.com, where you can shoot us an email, join our mailing list, and watch all of our past episodes. Thanks for joining us. Peace.